Why do smart high earners invest in property? Well, look, let's flip it the other way. Most people think that not buying is actually playing it safe. But when you're holding at least £50,000 in cash, well, inflation is going to do its thing and it's going to erode it. So that's still a risk. So let's talk about the risks that you're actually taking and how to make a decision without guessing. So in the next 10 minutes, you'll have a simple decision framework so you know exactly what ready looks like and what to do next when you're not there yet. So look, property has infinite information. If you're waiting to feel 100% certain, you'll never move. And look, online advice is conflicting. There's BRR, HMOs, essays, flips, rent-to-rents, 10% yields, It goes on. It just turns into noise. And I hear this all the time when I'm talking to my clients. And also, look, risk aversion can sometimes disguise itself as preparation, and it feels responsible, but it actually is also the reason that, another year passes and another year passes, etc. And so look, not buying is still a decision, and it still has risks as well. Cash sat doing nothing, missed time in the market, and the mental cost of just being stuck, well, those are real and risks in itself. And the answer actually isn't rushing, right? It's about having a decision framework and making sure you follow through. Here's the decision framework that I use. It's called the 5 decision gates. If you pass the gates, you act. And if you don't, well, you stop researching and you fix what's missing. So gate 1. What is the outcome? So cash flow now, long-term wealth, replacing your income. If the goal is still fuzzy, well, every strategy is just going to look tempting and you're just going to keep switching lanes and, getting tempted in everything. In one sentence, really, in X years, I want to achieve X amount per month from net income through X properties, X percentage of, ROI or something like that. So that's the kind of thing that we want to be drilling down to. Now let's look at gate 2. Write your risk rules, right? So look, smart people overthink because they don't set boundaries, right? Risk rules look like, what's my maximum budget? What's my maximum monthly top up that you'll be able to tolerate? What's my minimum net margin? What's my acceptable tenant type? Give some red lines over areas that you're not willing to go to. Now, if it's not written, you'll debate it yourself and every single deal. Now let's look at gate 3. Simplify your strategy. You don't need to be a master in property. You don't even need to pick one lane long enough to get the results. Just choose one type of property type, one tenant type, a short list of areas. Okay, most people consume content like entertainment and call it research, but research should reduce options, not increase them. Let's look at gate 4. Get the support network ready, right? People don't delay because they think they need to know everything. You just need a power team, right? And by that, I mean things like a broker, solicitor, people who are going to support you in terms of, the building works if you need it, and a really good agent as well. So the right support will reduce risk and friction so that you can keep moving to the next step. Now, gate 5, and that's about creating a deadline. So time poor professionals don't fail because they lack motivation, right? They fail because there's no structure. So a deadline will turn, I'll do it someday, into actions. So look, have a date for getting your decision in principle for any lending, the date for your first 3 viewings, have a deadline for that. A date for your first offer, right? Give yourself that kind of KPI, if you like, to really push on. This is about having accountability to yourself. So look, let's look at ourselves for a minute. Which gate do you think you're in? If you're missing gate 1 to 3, stop consuming content and, just try and define where you want to go. If you're missing gate 4, well, go out and build your team. And if you're missing gate 5, you're not stuck. You're just unstructured. So here's what I'm going to recommend you do this coming week. Write down your goal in 1 sentence. Write your task, write your risk rules, choose 1 lane for the next 90 days, and book 1 broker call or an agent to speak to as well. That's progress, not 20 more YouTube videos. Look, comment gates and tell me which gate that you're stuck on, and I'll help you to get to the next one. And in the next video, can you really learn property investing from YouTube alone? I'll give you my honest answer.